Today we're making vegan paella.
Paella is an iconic Spanish dish.
This aromatic saffron-infused rice is a labor of love.
But don't let that scare you. Its rich flavors will have you dancing the flamenco. Olé!
Paella is probably near the top of your list when you think of Spanish dishes. However, Spaniards think of paella as a dish from the Valencian region, where the original recipe is from.
But Middle Eastern and North African influences have added richness and complexity to Spanish culture over the centuries. In many ways, paella sits at the delicious crossroads of these cultures. But enough with the history lesson, let's get into the cooking.
For the sofrito, you'll need Roma tomatoes, an onion, organic granulated sugar, salt, sweet paprika, olive oil, and a bay leaf.
For the paella, you'll need onion, garlic, mushrooms, roasted red bell pepper, artichoke hearts, cannellini beans, green peas, olive oil, sweet paprika, smoked paprika, saffron, vegetable broth, bouillon, dry white wine, bomba rice, salt, and black pepper.
So let's prep the veggies for the sofrito. Let's slice up our onions. Then we heat up our olive oil in a saucepan over medium-low heat. Add in our onions, sugar, and salt, and cook, stirring occasionally. We're basically going to caramelize the crap out of these onions. They're ready when they're soft and golden brown, about 45 minutes later. You might be asking yourself, what is a sofrito? Well, glad you asked. Sofrito is an aromatic vegetable flavor base common in Mediterranean, Latin American, Spanish, and Portuguese cooking. Spanish-style sofrito is composed of deeply caramelized tomatoes and onions combined with sugar, spices, and herbs.
While the onions are cooking, prepare the tomatoes. Slice them in half and grate the cut sides of the tomatoes. You can use a food processor or box grater. Don't forget to discard the skins. Paella is built on a foundation of sofrito. Classic paella is definitely a weekend project because the sofrito itself takes almost an hour to make. Trust us though, the bold flavors will be worth the effort.
Now, if you're in a hurry, feel free to use a pre-made sofrito. Homemade is obviously elite, but the jarred stuff is also delish.
When the onions are caramelized, stir in the tomato puree, paprika, and plop in a bay leaf. Cook it down for another 20 minutes over medium heat. Your sofrito will be ready when the tomatoes have broken down completely and have turned into an almost rust color and the oil has separated. Take it off the heat and discard the bay leaf.
And now for the paella. You can rest easy that from here on out, we're dealing with a simple one-pot cooking situation. In a paella pan, heat up a quarter cup of olive oil on medium-high heat. Cook the onion, garlic, and mushrooms until the mushrooms have released their juices and turn golden brown.
Don't have a paella pan? No sweat. You can use any wide-bottom pan. Fun fact, the term paella actually refers to both the wide-bottom shallow pan the dish is cooked in, as well as the dish itself. Now you're going to add the roasted bell peppers and artichokes and cook for about 1 minute.
Now throw in that sofrito you just made and cook for 1 minute. Then add the white wine and reduce the mixture by half.
We can thank the Moors for the gift of paella. The Moors, or Moops if you're a Seinfeld fan, refer to the ethnically Berber inhabitants of northwest Africa. The Berbers converted to Islam after the Arab-Muslim conquest of the mid-600s.
In the early 700s, the Moors invaded and conquered the Iberian Peninsula for over 7 centuries, so it's not surprising that the Moors left an indelible mark on the language, architecture, scholarship, and food culture of Spain. They brought both rice and saffron to Spain.
Add the veggie broth, saffron, paprika, smoked paprika, cayenne, and bouillon cube. Bring it all to a boil and let that sucker go for 2 to 3 minutes.
Now throw in the bomba rice, cannelloni beans, and green peas. Season with salt and pepper to taste, and stir to combine.
Traditional paella uses short grain rices such as bomba, or Kalaspara rice. These rices absorb more liquid than other rices without becoming too mushy. If you have trouble finding these rices, arborio rice, which is more widely available, is an acceptable substitute.
Then reduce the heat to medium and cook uncovered for 15 minutes. Do not stir the rice. So let's reduce the heat to low and cook an additional 12 to 15 minutes. You might be asking yourself, what the heck is going on at this step?
Glad you asked. We're making a socarrat. Socarrat is the highly coveted crispy rice crust that forms at the bottom of the paella pan. For all my Persians out there, think Spanish tadig. This toasted crust is arguably the most delicious part of the paella. Paella ends by making a socarrat.
At 12 minutes, we're going to move aside some of the rice to see if the liquid has been absorbed. And when it has, crank that heat to high and cook for 1 to 2 more minutes to get that crunchy socarrat at the bottom of the pan. Then remove the pan from the heat.
Let the paella set for 5 minutes before serving. During this time, decorate with vegetable garnishes, top with parsley, and serve with lemon wedges. Enjoy!
Spain is one of our absolute favorite countries to travel to. We've been to Barcelona, Malaga, Madrid, Valencia, Seville, and Mallorca.
We make paella on the regular to quote-unquote travel there with our taste buds. And now you can too.
Paella is... Is that stupid?
This aromatic.
That scare you. Its rich flavors will have you dancing the flamenco. Olé! I f***ed it up. Okay, go. Olé! Okay, I'm gonna try it from the top one time.
Okay. Thanks.
Thanks for that.
Head over to plantbasedpassport.com for the full recipe, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you try this recipe, be sure to leave a comment on our blog and share a photo of your creation on Instagram and TikTok. Don't forget to tag us. We release new videos every Friday.